What's up, horror fans? Greg here, and I wanted to explain a little bit why I decided to make my new channel, The Horror Channel, because as a horror fan, I absolutely love horror movies. I know a lot of you out there do too, and, I've been really wanting to talk a lot more horror lately, and, I've noticed with some of the bigger horror outlets and stuff, I've noticed something like it feels like they've kind of forgot about the fans. Like they're sort of looking down on the fans sometimes. I know there's some stuff that's happened recently with some stuff with Jamie Lee Curtis and the Halloween stuff and stuff with like Scream 7 and everything. I really felt like a lot of fans on either side of the arguments were kind of just like lost in the shuffle. And I feel like a lot of these biases and stuff in these are bleeding through and not really appreciating or listening to horror fans. And that's something I wanted to do. I can't start a big horror outlet. I can't start a horror magazine or anything like that. But what I can do is I can start a horror channel and talk horror movies and deliver horror news. Now, like my goal with the horror channel is to bring in the horror fans and to have like those old school conversations that we used to have with older fans and newer fans about just horror movies we love, because we all love horror movies. We all have our own tastes. We all like certain genres of horror, other genres of horror. A lot of us, like myself, like the 80s and 90s, and I love like the 50s sci-fi movies, which isn't technically horror, but I think it sort of is, because a lot of those 50s sci-fi movies inspired John Carpenter, Joe Dante, and so many other directors like that created some of our all-time favorite horror movies. And I know a lot of people like a lot of the modern stuff today, and I know there's so many differences amongst fans of horror movies and stuff, and that's something I want to bring into this. With this channel, I want to deliver you guys the news, and I want to get to the point to where I'm not just reading news from other sources, but where I'm being given the news that I can deliver onto you. Like I just recently got some news about Blumhouse obtaining the rights to Chopping Mall and the Puppet Master movies, which was nobody had got that news. That was delivered to me by a friend of mine who is actually working on a possible new movie, a Ghoulies movie, maybe. I probably shouldn't say too much about that. Sorry, I can't say much about that. But that, he delivered that news to me, and I wanted to, and I gave that to you guys. And I want to, do movie reviews. I want to talk about all different types of horror and everything. And I hope that the fans will come along and join in with me and have a good, horrific time. And please subscribe to the Horror Channel, follow my Instagram page at the Horror Channel, and let's just have a horrific good time.